Hello, my loves, and welcome again to another pick a card reading on love, where we get you some guidance for your own self-love journey, how you're feeling about relationships in your life, and a little bit of what I call divine intelligence on someone that you might be thinking about. And this reading is for all levels of relationship, whether you've just met someone or you're deeply in it. So welcome in. We have our 3 piles. This will be pile number 1 with our pink morganite, pile number 2 with our jade stone, and pile number 3 is our beautiful garnet here. And we're going to get a little bit further in and get another theme for each pile. This might help you pick your pile or piles even more. I'm going to pick them with you. And we have here for our morganite pile, we are going to be adding on our elder tree, which is all about the unseen and the mystery, and magic is real. These are from little cards I made from my flower and plant essence apothecary. For our jade stone, we're going to add on the themes of Ayauma. Ayauma is a South American plant. It's a master plant in the jungle over there, deep in the Amazon. And it's about your voice. It's about boundaries, backbone. It's a deep protection plant. But it's really about how you might have lost your voice in events, people, relationships, and reclaiming that voice. And then for our garnet, we are gonna add on with the blue lotus, or what lies beneath, unattachment, a beginner's mind, diving into the nothing, into newness. So you can take a moment, you can see what here resonates. If you're here for one and done, that is awesome. I'm happy to have you. When I do these readings, I always think of them as one big reading that I put into little bites. So I hope that you'll feel free to, throughout the day or throughout the week, come back whenever you need an energy boost, a little bit of inspiration, or a bit of just validation on your own intuition. So I will see you in the piles. Thank you. Bye. Welcome, my friends that gravitated to this pile over here. You are my elder tree and morganite people. So we're going to start with a little reading on the elder tree and the morganite. I'm going to flip a medicine card for you with the animal spirit to get a little bit of a personal growth reading on your love journey. Then we're going to skip over here and look a little bit about someone on your mind. We're going to grab some tarot. We're going to have some fun. So stick with me to the end. With the elder tree, this is a really witchy tree. So maybe you're somebody who really is about or wants to explore your own personal magic, like the magic that is real in your everyday life. Maybe you want to cook. I remember getting a reading once with this reader a long time ago, and she was just talking about casting a love spell by cooking a pie. And she's, I want you to make an apple crumble pie. And when you're like making the crust, I want you to just think about just the juicy kind of love you want to bring into your life in this pie. And you can do things like that. Magic doesn't have to be some elaborate ritual. It can be just adding in the joy to everything that you do. And as you add joy and happiness and your own personal mojo, you're attracting those people that are attuned to that mojo. Morganite is a stone of the heart, so heart healing, and maybe you want to work a little bit of a heart opening meditation into your life. If you want to bring in love, or there's someone in your life and you want to open up more to them, or you want to see growth in the area, maybe it's about finding some peace of mind and getting clear about what you want to bring in, how you want to move forward with someone. I keep, hearing light a candle. And it doesn't have to be a big ritual on an altar. It could be just finding a really beautiful candle in a health food store. They always have these amazing candles at like Whole Foods or like your local bookshop, but just finding something that resonates, that smells really attractive to you, where the smell just puts you in a certain kind of mood, and just light it and make your intentions. Morganite is a stone of unconditional love. And it's the unconditional love you give to yourself very deeply that brings you into the kind of wholeness that attracts the kind of partner that you want, which is another whole person. I also feel intimacy with this stone very deeply. So perhaps you're working about opening up your heart to intimacy, or to what intimacy is to you now. What makes you safe to be deeply intimate with someone? What are the qualities that you need to see in someone? How do they need to make you feel for you to feel like you can be vulnerable? And also looking for that vulnerability and that emotional intimacy that somebody else also has, right? Because you want to be emotionally intimate and that other person is in a stuck energy. Let's check out Buffalo. Buffalo is all about prayer and abundance. So that's perfect with elder tree and working your magic. It's this medicine that's guiding you at this time is saying to ask for what you want in whatever way that is. Whatever prayer means to you, whatever setting intentions means to you. Perhaps it's talking to ancestors, people who have passed that you feel very close with, angels, guides, sitting with your higher self in prayer. That's beautiful. Let's take a look at this other energy. Butterfly. There's transformation. So whoever's on your mind is going through a personal revolution, is what I want to say. They're in deep transformation. They are reevaluating and looking at what intimacy means to them, what love means to them, what does partnership mean to them right now. And it could be a very deep personal growth spurt for them right now. Let's see here. I love these oracle cards. They're based on just characters and people like from all through the ages, all through modern. And this is Greta Garbo. So are you sure you wouldn't rather be alone? So Greta Garbo was this fantastic actress from Black and White. And she used to say, I want to be alone. She at one point, she was a huge star. And at one point, she just went into introspection deeply. She was like taking on that bear in hibernation. She just wanted to be away from Hollywood. She wanted to be away from all the mess. She wanted to be away from all the attention. She wanted to be alone. You have to look her up if you're not aware of Greta Garbo and check out her films. It's just, I promise you, you'll love them. But only go to the altar if marriage isn't the only way to have a partner in life. Now that's interesting. Okay, this person here is in personal revolution. They're in a transformation. Perhaps they are in a reevaluation of what partnership means to them. Perhaps they've been in committed relationships or marriages that haven't gone as well. It's brought up, it's been a traumatic event. Even if you wanted a divorce and you knew it was over, or you knew that you were in a toxic, codependent thing that wasn't healthy, or you grew apart and it's the right thing to do, it is still very traumatizing to go through a breakup in a committed relationship. So this person may be wanting to spend some time alone. Perhaps you haven't heard from them as much as you would like. Perhaps they're taking space. Maybe you started dating or you started communicating and it started off real great, and then all of a sudden it just started, like the energy just started dipping a little bit. I think that they are thinking about what partnership means for them in their life right now, with all the wisdom they've gained, with all the knowledge, with all the life experience they have, with the healing processes that they've gone through and that they're going through currently. So what I'm feeling here is that perhaps your presence in their life has sparked it's maybe ignited more of a reignition of passion than they were thinking that they were going to get. Maybe they were somebody who's like, I don't want anything big right now. I just want to date, or I want to spend more time alone right now. And then all of a sudden, partnership comes, please feel free to switch this. Perhaps you're Greta Garbo. Just so you know, the energies can flip back and forth. You can have these energies as well if you're identifying with this, but this is somebody who can be taking a bit of space. And it can feel disappointing, upsetting, confusing, especially if there was something really passionate. I'm thinking about old movies and these old Greta Garbo movies where everybody was just so passionate and in love. And in one of, I'm forgetting the name of the movie, but she was dying of consumption and she had fallen in love with this incredible guy. And it was just so intense and so passionate, and their love was just so strong. So you may have felt like, oh my God, like this could be my person. And then all of a sudden there could be this pause. And I want to reiterate pause because the story is not really over. I want to grab one of these guys. The story's not over. It doesn't, just because there's a pause on something, this person could be slowing things down because they need to, because, I don't know, maybe your fabulousness like threw a wrench in their plan, or maybe even if they pursued you, it could be like, oh God, crap. I really wanted this person maybe, and now I've got them and I don't really know what I want and I need space. We'll fall in love, enchanting love. It's almost, I feel like this person in a way has fallen in love with you. Perhaps you have known them for a period of time. Maybe this is someone that you had a friendship with. This was somebody that you knew from work, someone that you spent a lot of time with. And then all of a sudden everything deepened. So maybe it's not, oh my God, I love you. But there's a sense of, I want to say, like really feeling like the puzzle pieces fit between you guys. And that there is this potential for a very deep falling in love. And it's like it was happening. Or it's almost like you feel like this person was doing that a little bit and you didn't even recognize it because of your own stuff that you were going through. And it feels like this over dramatic energy of the moment this sort of hit, you were like, oh, and it was overwhelming. But then this pause comes in, this sort of, they want to be alone. Let's find out a little bit more. I'm gonna take that one that fell. Ooh, and it's the 10 of Cups, you guys. This is legacy. This is like karma in family. They could also be, this person could be dealing with stuff around family. Perhaps if they were in a committed relationship and they had children with that person, or people, maybe they had, children with multiple people. It's almost like they're at a place where it's, what am I leaving for my children? What am I leaving behind for my children? Or how can I continue to make my family work even though there's been a divorce or a break? And that could be on their mind as well. They could be dealing with exes that they have children with, and that's taking time. They could be dealing with family stuff. Perhaps parents are sick. Perhaps there's some feeling of emotional deficit, like a burnout. But with these two crows sitting here, it's this promise. It's this sort of like prayer that this person has, that regardless of everything that they've been through, and regardless of going through transformation, maybe continuing to figure out what they want now, what does partnership look like to them now? Perhaps you've inspired them to think of partnership in a different way, and it's like totally enchanting to them, and at the same time is overwhelming to them, and they need, again, that space. But this here is, it's interesting because we have these two birds here and these two birds here, and it's like the new and the old, like what used to satisfy me, what used to be my 10 of Cups versus what's my 10 of Cups now. and still having this sort of prayer, this idea that, again, regardless of what mistakes were made, that there can be a way to find partnership, transformative partnership. The Page of Pentacles, so something coming in that's a promise of something. It feels solid, it feels grounded. It's almost like coming in and asking for a date or to go on a mini holiday or a mini trip. Or this could even be them opening up to you about something going on with an ex. Maybe they were hiding something that was going on with an ex. I don't feel like there's any kind of in-loveness with anybody from the past at all. I feel like they are more focused on what the new thing could be if they could just open themselves up to it and not be so scared and just surrender a little bit and not try to be in control. And this person could also be using the excuse of having to deal with certain family or work things. It could be to take that space. But this feels like coming soon is something that's going to make you feel solid about them. And with Temperance, it's balancing that emotional overwhelm. This is also patience. I would never tell you to wait on someone. Be patient, wait for this person, they're going to come around. You have to do you, and your personal prayers about your life and about bringing in partnership. This is also about you bringing in the kind of life that you want in general. What are the possibilities of your life that you're not seeing? Can you live in the mystery? Can you live in the question mark about that new path you want to carve for yourself? Because, and while you're doing that, it doesn't really matter if somebody else is taking the time to sort it out. Somebody else asks you out for a drink or a dinner, you go. Right? You're not sitting around waiting. But there does seem to be this sort of like the blessing of being patient. And it's like you're not bothered by it. You're not texting all the time asking what's going on. It's like, this is also you doing a check-in with grace, with self-confidence, without desperation, with genuine caring about something that seems to be very solid. I feel with this Ten of Cups that, again, you might have known this person or known of this person. Like, you know that this is a good person, whatever they're going through right now. This is not a scum. There are no red flags. There's being discerning. There's, do I want that? Do I want to be patient for that? But there's no red flags here. There seems to be symbiosis. There's something about you guys that fit. So let's see if we can get a little bit more on, because there seems to be, it's about patience. They are discovering how to deal with their own emotions, perhaps for the first time in their life. Maybe they've been someone who's given a lot to others, and perhaps maybe they're in this place and taking space because they feel like they need to make some stuff about them. Okay, this needs to be about me a little bit, and they're finding that balance between giving, and then swinging to the other side of the pendulum, which is it's all about me all the time. That's part of what they're in transformation about. And here we have the Six of Wands. Letting go of ideas, letting go of thought patterns. With this feather here, asking for divine guidance, whatever their spiritual practice may be, and maybe it's just taking that time and that space for themselves. That's their spiritual practice. But this feels like ideas, old stories, old anxieties, old stressors. that are being looked at in a different perspective, maybe really finally letting go of some stuff and needing the space to do it. Letting go of some people. This also feels like people. There are just some people that have to go, or they need to know their place. Perhaps they have children that maybe are very needy, and I'm hearing like older children or adult children that are a bit needy or need help on a different spectrum. Like some of it is extreme, like these people just need to become adults, and others, maybe they genuinely do need that extra support for one reason or another. But it's like, how do I balance, again, this constant giving and resourcing out? How do I really need to get other people to help me? I can't do this on my own. And the sun. With the sun, you can't have a more beautiful experience than this. Is like that warm heart, like the heart opening up and warming up. So I do feel that if you live your life, if you do you, if you so choose to go on other dates with other people in the meantime, if you just concentrate on bringing in your own manifestations, and really to be open to the even with this person, to be open to the possibilities that things can be different than they have in the past. Perhaps this is coming up for you, this whole process of slowness, of a pause, of maybe I feel like it's with the oven, you're putting it on a little, you're dimming down the flame so that it doesn't like boil over. Because here with the sun, things can get real hot, real fast. And perhaps things have gotten real hot, real fast, whether it be physically, emotionally, psychologically. It could be on all fronts. It could be this person here is like overwhelmed and a little bit afraid of just how physically intimate they feel they can be with you, how safe, how comfortable they feel they can be. And so there's this kind of, you also need this. There's something in this personal growth place for you of not having it look exactly the way you want right away. That there's some other beautiful things to be released in this new way of being, this new type of relationship. For the both of you. Let's get one more. Call these the trashy love cards. The chaser. So yeah, I think this came on a bit hot and heavy. So maybe this person was like wanting to date you for a while, or you knew them from work, or they were always very flirty. They were always wanting to spend more time with you. They wanted to get to know you. They were making it maybe known that they felt like you were that perfect puzzle piece. And it's not like they don't think that anymore. It's it's almost like they're chasing something else. They're running circles around themselves. And that's part of this loop that they're in, this dealing with this anxiety, this dealing with this letting go. But this is also for you not to become the chaser. So again, there's nothing wrong with checking in with someone if you so choose and it feels right and it's coming from a grounded place of clarity where you are genuinely checking in on the person. And you're going to know by the response that you get. But don't push it. Don't push, when are we going out? You might suggest it. But if they're keeping everything on pause, this person likes you. So you got to know that no matter what. Like you are not wrong. Your instinct is right. This person really digs you. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that's a good validation. You're not wrong. You didn't get it wrong. You didn't read the signs wrong. There's a bit of a pause. And you can take that and use it for yourself. I do think something is going to come in fairly soon. I'm not going to pull a card on time, but I think this person would connect with you again. And I don't mean in 6 months from now. I think in the near future, it could even be this week, sometime in the next few weeks. It could even be tomorrow, but don't become the chaser, you know. And there's a difference between chasing someone and being emotionally available in a positive and healthy way. All right, I will see you on the next. Please, in the comments below, let me know what resonated. Please let me know what was supportive. Let me know what kind of readings you would like to hear here on the channel. There's some meditations on the channel now, so I hope that you will enjoy those. Please give me a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me. And if you are called, please hit the subscribe button and join the community. I would love to have you be a part of it. See you next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful intuitive souls that gravitated over here to this pile. Let's get started on your reading. We're going to talk a little bit about you and your personal growth over here. Then we'll skip on over and we'll look at this person you're thinking about and grab some tarot and some oracles and have some fun. Jade is all about working on your emotions and your emotional well-being and clearing and detoxifying that sense of not feeling emotionally safe. This is also a stone of luck. So I feel like your luck is changing because you have worked on getting clear about what you deserve and need emotionally in a relationship by understanding yourself better. What do you need to feel satisfied on a daily basis? Perhaps you've become emotionally self-sufficient on your own recently, or you're working on being able to satisfy yourself emotionally, and therefore that's helping you become more focused on what your needs are in relationship. This is also a stone of deep protection, which brings me to Aya Uma, our lovely master teacher of the Amazon. Love Aya Uma. Please look her up on the internet. An amazing tree, the most beautiful red, exotic flowers you've ever seen. And she's about the voice and reclaiming your voice. Perhaps you've been an appeaser or a pleaser, somebody who's, what's that thing about giving too much and being compromising and doing it in such a way where you're not speaking up. You could have been in a relationship or some relationships where when you spoke up, like that caused a problem. Like that, it's almost like your confidence or your voice or you're being sure of yourself or your opinions on things it triggered somebody else's lack of self-worth, which is not your problem, it's theirs, but it can be difficult when someone is throwing that on us. And whether it's childhood things that, or being bullied or a multitude of bad relationships where we just felt like we couldn't speak. It's almost, I'm not going to say anything because it's going to cause an argument. So this is reclaiming your voice and realizing that you want to be in alignment with someone that wants you to be exactly who you are, that isn't afraid for you to speak your opinions. As a matter of fact, they like it. They want you to tell them what you like physically, intimately. They want you to tell them how they feel, and they want you to be able to take that in as well, and where it's reciprocity. So it's this boundaries. I always say, I think in like practically every other video, that intimacy is created, deeper intimacy is created with boundaries, and that's the truth. And I think people respect people that understand their boundaries. And it allows you to surrender more deeply into intimacy, into being with someone. When you're clear about what you want, someone can feel more safe around you. So don't be afraid of your backbone, and you can put up some Aya Uma, put her on your screensaver on your phone over the next week or month, or on your computer, and take her in and take that place of really processing and integrating that it's safe for you to have boundaries, that you're getting clear on your boundaries, that you are protected, that you've got yourself. You're going to protect yourself from these relationships that are no longer in alignment with you because you're clear that you deserve more than that. You see that, and no matter how enticing it might be, you're like, no. A possum, a possum. So a possum's big medicine is that when there's trouble, a possum can play dead. Like and a possum can actually be quite dangerous. They know how to take care of themselves. They know how to, they've got really dangerous claws, and they can use it. But instead they play dead. And it's interesting, there's more to this card and I'm going to get to it, but perhaps you've been playing dead, so you haven't been speaking up because it's like it's easier for me to be invisible. And then that became part of your identity, maybe in other areas of your life too, where it's just easier to get through. It's a card of strategy as well. And what strategy is going to work for me at this time? Do I want to get into a fight, or should I just play dead? Should I just get small? And I'm not saying that can't be useful in certain areas of life and in certain situations. Actually, the medicine and the magic of being able to be stealth is amazing. But I feel here this is saying that maybe you've been playing dead, and then it's made you a part of your heart a little bit dead because you have trouble opening. I want to read something else about a possum to you because it's a pretty amazing card. A possum may be relaying to you that you are to expect the unexpected and be clever in achieving your victory. This card asks you to really use the heart-mind connection, to not be fully throwing yourself just into your emotions, to let your brain do its job. Don't overthink things. But there is some luck about to break, and jade is very much a big luck stone. So perhaps having these realizations and sitting down with these truths about yourself has opened up a new pathway in love, and how you're going to be in love from now on, and the kind of love that you want in partnership. Let's see. All right, so this person's got snake medicine. Okay, pretty intense transmutation. They're in a place of shedding. They're shedding something very deep in their life emotionally. This person can be very adaptable too. This is very much a card of being able to change. It's a very deep alchemical card. So regardless of what this person does for a living, they have a lot of psychic energy around them. They could be a healer type, or again, regardless, they could be an accountant. But there's something about them that they're really able to shift easily into situations. But at the moment, they're going through a very deep creation process of their life. They're a deeply sexual person. They're in a place almost of ascension right now, where they're trying to ascend out of something in terms of relationship and what that means for them. They're shedding a lot of old stories, old behaviors, old thought patterns, old way of looking at relationships. Perhaps they actually are completely shedding a relationship. They're literally trying to get some situation or environment or person, some ex or old relationship, literally out of their skin. Maybe this person has got an ex, or that's still in their life in some way. Perhaps they've got children with this person. Perhaps this person still wants to get back together with them. So there's this, and the shedding of it is not just, well, I'm going to get rid of this person out of my life, or I'm going to block them, but it's like they have to emotionally, psychically, it's almost like a whole like somatic experience to release this person. Edward. So Edward was the king that gave up the throne. The King's Speech, if you've ever seen the movie The King's Speech, that's what this was about. Edward gave up the throne, and his brother, who was not expecting to be king, had to become king. But he gave up the throne because he was in love with this woman. So Prince Edward of Windsor abducted the British throne because he fell in love with Wallis Simpson, a divorcee from Pennsylvania. And it was, of course, this huge, big scandal. And everybody loved Edward. He was like the charming one. He was the outgoing one. And then he fell in love with this woman and she was not accepted. What's weird about this story is that he tries to get back into the throne at some point. There's like a deep history here that I won't get into, where they feel like there's ties with Nazi Germany and Hitler with Edward, and that Hitler was trying to get Edward back in the throne so that he could take over England. And Wallis Simpson, she had a lot of friends in the Nazi party. So if you're a history buff or a professor or anything like that, I'm not a history professor, but I do love World War II history, so I know a little bit about this. So I feel like this person had to give something up. I feel like they had to give up like a part of their soul or a part of themselves in a past relationship. that, and it could be in the way future, but this person that they were giving things up and sacrificing themselves for, like they weren't really all that. People always like, oh, such a love story. He gave up being the king for her. But it really wasn't like that. Their lives weren't that great. If you go into the history, they were always trying to like one up themselves. So this person that you're dealing with could be with somebody who's, it's a keeping up with the Joneses kind of person. It's like an Instagram kind of person where everything has to look this sort of way. And hey, go to therapy with me and marriage counseling because it looks good. But then it's like this never ending story and like the cycle just keeps repeating itself. So it feels like this person that you're involved with or who's on your mind, they're really shedding something that was very emotionally traumatic. And it's not what it seems. In this card as well, and they talk about make your own kingdom, choose your own family, because that's what he did. And ultimately he made his choice and lived his life. But this person could be in a deep contemplation of what is family to me now, or even more specifically, what is partnership to me now? Do I want the societal thing or this kind of relationship that all their friends have, or do they want to create their own thing? And there could be a really huge, like a deep kind of almost shadow process where a lot of their own personal bullshit comes out as they're dealing with this. That was deep. I'm going to tell you what the cards say. This doesn't mean that this person is bad or that you shouldn't date them or have fun with them. This may be somebody that you have a lot of sexual chemistry with, and that, or there could be potential for a lot of really great intimacy, sexual chemistry. You feel it, they feel it. There's this other stuff going on. And so you can be strategic. You can decide when you want to take a pause, when you want to give them space, when you need space from this. Speak up. Let them know how you feel. That one dropped, so I'm going to get it. So with the Queen of Pentacles, you have a very stable life. You've created a lot. You don't need partnership to make you whole. You have created your own, and I feel like you have worked on becoming whole. Like whatever relationships you've been through, whatever hard times, whatever difficulties, whatever traumas, like you've worked on yourself. And yes, there may be some things to keep working on, because we all do throughout our entire lives. We're never done. We're never like completely healed. It's not about healing. It's about creating, right? At some point, it's screw all the healing. You do all this work on yourself, and at some point, it's about creation, reclaiming yourself. And you have done that. And you're sitting in a very grounded, safe place. And regardless of what relationship has gone on, I feel really succeeded in career, in work, in what you're creating at home. You've created a sanctuary at home. And you want to make sure that you're bringing the right people into your sanctuary so that it's not disturbed. You're keeping your boundaries. You're keeping your inner resources, your inner sense of protection. Again, not that I'm saying you shouldn't bring this person in. But when you have second thoughts, that doesn't mean that it's a no. To be discerning is not to be like no. It's just not jumping in because the sexual chemistry is off the charts. It's perhaps taking things a bit slow, letting things simmer. Because somebody is really walking away from something that gave them a lot of emotional contentment for a long period of time, but it no longer gives them emotional contentment anymore. They realize it's just the Instagram fantasy, right? It's just, this looks like the great love story on the outside, but really it's not. Really, it's a struggle. Did I sacrifice too much? Was the sacrifice worth it? And I'm not saying how Edward felt, but I think that this person that is on your mind might be wonder if certain sacrifices or certain compromises were worth it. And so they're rethinking about what they want. And it's something else. Because, wow, this is an incredible couple here. This is somebody who really, they're very ambitious. They're very stable. They might want too much control, especially if they're in this process of deep shedding of getting someone out from under their skin, or getting to know themselves, or shedding all of the stuff. And whether they may not know what shadow work is, there's an element of it. Looking at the deep ancestral stuff too, like how did my childhood affect why I got into all these relationships that were unsatisfying, right? Was I having my mother's relationship, my father's relationship, what was expected of me? But this is somebody that is claiming, for sure. And I said they're very successful, and they like their success. They like being known for their successes. And they work really hard for it, but they've also received a certain status. They're not afraid to get up and fight for it, to get up and get their hands dirty and do work, even though they probably own the company or they're one of the partners. This is also a very highly creative person. So this is somebody that could be writing music, writing screenplays, writing a novel. This could be that lawyer that's writing a crime novel on his spare time. Or this could also be somebody who's really into history, and they might have some sort of ties to World War II, and they might be dealing with some past karma around World War II, and perhaps their grandparents, ancestors fought in the war, and World War II was with the concentration camps. So yeah, there might be some stuff there that they're dealing with ancestral-wise and karmically, past life, very deep. But this is the kind of couple that knows what they want, and they're authentic and real. And this is the nurturer, and this is the person that takes action. So there's a way to weave between the two of you. Maybe one of you is more of the nurturer, the other one's more of the active person, but you inspire each other. That person inspires you to be more active, and maybe you inspire them in their healing process, to have a little bit of more luxury in life, to have a little bit of more fun, because Taurus card, sensuality, the good things in life, food, wanting to enjoy these things together. But this person could be very controlling right now in the fact that they're going through this process. And if it's a newer relationship, you might find certain things to be like, it feels like they have trouble giving up control. But this is new truth. This is new vision. This is communication in a new way. Here's the rose. So here's the blossoming of a new type of communicating. And this is like breaking through the muck, right? You feel like the sword is coming up deep from the earth. It's I've been through everything, and now I've got my sword of truth. I've got my voice. And this is a card of I've got my voice, and I am not afraid to use it. And this is your person coming up under a time of deep transmutation, of deep creation, of what they want now, who they are now, and peeking through, like really busting through the surface with, this is who I am. So I'm going to leave it at that. I really appreciate your being here. I hope that you will give me a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me. It would really help the channel. Please comment below and let me know what resonated with you. Let me know how this supported you, or just your thoughts. And if you are called, I would love it if you would join the channel. I would love to be in community with you and to have a place where we can all support each other in this unwinding spiral of life. I will see you next time. Hello, my highly intuitive beings that gravitated over to this pile here. Welcome in. I'm going to do a little bit of a personal growth geared towards love, reading on your end here. Then we'll jump into a person on your mind and their energies here. We'll throw some tarot on it. We have some other oracles. And let's just have fun figuring it all out together. I wanted to start here with our garnet, this stone of the heart, a stone of grounded heart, so root chakra. But this is not the woo woo. I'm up in the air, and I feel like I'm having an outer body experience, and I can't think clearly. I'm so overwhelmed in love. You can have that euphoria, but still be very grounded. Perhaps this is a reminder to work a little bit on that grounding of the heart, or maybe you have come to this place where you recognize the value of a grounded heart. The more grounded you are, the more ecstatic you can become, right? Because you're grounded, you're safe on earth, you're anchored in reality, where you're manifesting your true loves and dreams. They're real, they're not up in the air. And Blue Lotus, this is from my collection, my flower essence collection. I wrote what lies beneath here. My experience of working with this essence, which I did again recently, actually brought me a lot of euphoria, actually. I have here what lies beneath. It's like I was really looking at the stuff that needed to come up and out in order for me to really experience a sense of liberation and freedom and euphoria, to be able to have this intensity, but still be grounded. I felt like that was part of the medicine of my Blue Lotus in my collection. And it's lotuses, they always come up from the water, right? They come up from the mud. It's not afraid to be and to develop and have to go into hibernation in the dark place. It's not afraid to go within, because that's where there is this work that needs to be done, and where we have to acknowledge our pain, suffering, and grief. And it deserves to have attention paid to it. But after you've gone through the process, the integration is to come up and out and to blossom and to take in the wisdom, the knowledge, the divine intelligence, the healing, the being of whole, and to come to this place of rebirth where you live with that experience within you. You don't need to go through it again. You don't need to rehash it every day. In a way, you can let it go. Mouse. So this is lighten up, because the mouse card can be very nitpicky, very anxious. I think this medicine here is telling you can lighten up. Maybe it's been a really intense period, and part of your integration is to let go, is to play a little bit, is to give away a little bit of control in your daily, to do things a little bit differently. Let's check out this person here. Well, we have a leader. This is the mountain lion, is a card of leadership. It's power in leadership. So this is someone who might be exploring what it means to be a leader and to be a fair leader, and to wield power with discernment and with compassion and with fairness. Yeah, let's take a look here. Marie Antoinette, no man is worth losing your head over. This oracle is so fun. Be the dessert, not the entree. See all, hear all, love all, forget all. Okay, this was power gone awry to some degree here. I'll show you what oracle deck this is. These are the love oracles, and it's just from all kinds of people. From Jay-Z is in here, Ryan Gosling is in here, but this is Marie Antoinette. For me, this card, what I'm getting on it is power gone completely awry. And the thing about Marie Antoinette, if you really look into the history, she just was a really young girl who didn't really know how to be queen. Like her and her husband, they were thrust into being king and queen. So this is an excess of power. It's almost too much of a good thing. So it's like power hungry. But again, she was so young when she became queen. It also feels like you could have a person here who has a bit of an inner child, maybe what they didn't get as a child, or they felt powerless as a child, or powerless as an adolescent, and there's something in needing control in their life. This person could also just be someone who really, like, they love to drink, they love food, they want to go out, like to party, they like to go on these vacations. And chances are they're very ambitious. They probably can afford it. And maybe even if they can't afford it, they do all these crazy things. I had a boyfriend, gosh, years ago, 20 years ago, who was in debt. And he like paid $500 a ticket to go see the Rolling Stones. Do you know what I mean? We could be dealing with somebody like that here, that just, it's like they need to have these things to feel good about themselves because of they were raised, or just a certain lack of value on themselves. That's a message for some of you. And for others of you, it's somebody who's learning to balance. You're going to know which one you're on, but this is a person learning to balance, who enjoys being a leader and is trying to figure out how do I not be in excess, and how to be fair to the people that they work with. Because I think how we are in one relationship is how we are in all relationships to some degree. I suppose that someone could be a jerk to their coworkers and be excellent to their partner, but I think how people treat the people in their lives is very important. And there is something here about being fair, being in a place of leadership, but being fair. How is this affecting their love life? Let's check it out. Let's find some more in the tarot. But this could also be, this is somebody who wants to be very fair to the people that are working for them. But if you've got that person that's in excess, you've done too much work on yourself. So if that's resonating for you, if somebody needs to spend all this money and it's outrageous, or they try to impress you with these outrageous things, you don't want that. You want the person that's going to be more fair. Yes, we like to go out and have dinners and go on vacations and have adventures and be able to have a nice bottle of wine if that's what you like, or do the things you want to do. But it's not about those things per se, it's about doing them together. What's more important is that I'm going to this resort in the Caribbean with you, and we've worked hard, and we've earned this money, and we can do this, or I can take you there. I want to gift you this because I want to give you something that's going to give you pleasure, and I want to spend time with you in a beautiful place, not, hey, look at me, I did this for you. Okay, the Three of Pentacles, this is, community. This is going public. This is somebody who they are to the public is the same person that they are in private. You don't want this person that's one thing in public, but really you get them in private and they're difficult to deal with. But everybody thinks they're a nice person. And with the Chariot, it's the ultimate card of balance and getting out of control. When I first learned tarot, my teacher talked about the Chariot, and in the traditional tarot, we've got these two horses, and he's like racing around like in the old Roman, like the chariot races. And it's really hard to hold these two horses. You really have to balance, and they can get out of control. Sometimes when we're going really fast, we have a lot of ideas, we want to climb the ladder. Things can get out of balance. This feels like somebody that's so focused on their work that it's hard for them to balance their personal life. And perhaps maybe they just feel being showering with gifts, or being in excess, or putting on a show for people, when really they can't control the amount of work that's coming in. The King of Wands. This is a very passionate, creative person. This person has a very healthy ego. And it's interesting because Leo is that sign. There's a lot to do with the child. And there's something here in this person in their childhood where they feel like they need to have these things. I do believe that there's a wanting to find more balance. Like there can be this opportunity to find more balance. Because in order to have real union, in order to really, to take one whole person, another whole person, and create something that is the union of two whole people, that takes a lot of work and a lot of inner work. I want to get one more because I'm just curious. Spiraling anxiety. If this is someone that just could start a lot of petty arguments, I really didn't want this reading to go in this direction, but you could be with someone that starts a lot of petty arguments. You also do these fun things. This could be somebody that's just not really easy to deal with, but on the outside, it doesn't really look that way. And it's due to it not being looked after as a child. They have childhood and inner child trauma that I don't think that they would deal with. I don't think that they can. No one taught them. No one taught them how to be a queen. And then it all spiraled out of control. Then you don't want to be around when their head gets cut off. So that's why you're nervous. That's so interesting that this reading went this way. But I have to tell the truth, and I have to tell what's here. I have to tell you, I work with this really amazing editor, Rachel, and in the middle of the reading, I said, I'm taking an editing break because my cats are screaming in the background. That has been cut out. But the reason why I'm telling you about it is because like my cats all of a sudden just went completely, they were screeching in the background. It's like complete chaos. Let's get a little bit more. Let's extend the reading a little bit. Wedding, matrimony, wedlock. This could be, this person has issues in relationship, in the idea of commitment and what commitment means for them. Perhaps they had a terrible marriage. That's what I'm getting from here with this Prince Aeschylus card. Protection, kindness, undertake. Look at this card here with like marriage, but there's something like this person's looking at this couple. I don't know about this. These are the Romeo and Juliet oracle cards. I don't know about this union. If I ever read Romeo and Juliet, I think this is Friar Tuck, who was like the voice of reason a little bit in that play. I don't know, you guys. And this person might want to marry you. Like they might be looking for a commitment. They might be pushing you into commitment. There's this feeling like you might be sitting somewhere and you think they might be about to ask you and just, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. It's like Carrie in Sex and the City when she got engaged and, you know, she kept throwing up. You know what I mean? It's because you've been through too much. You're too grounded. You're not going to let yourself fly off and get entrapped in this person's stuff. You've come too far. You have this wisdom. You already know this with the Blue Lotus card. And you can start fresh. You can rebirth. You can process this. You can cut this off. And I mean, it's been mucky. And this wisdom is hard earned in this relationship. But you just have to think of how much better off you're going to be, and that you're making room for the person that's right for you. So asking your friends for help, getting resource and guidance, friends, family. You might need somebody helping you move out. You might need to get out. You might be living with this person and you might need to get out fast. And so you might need to pull in your friends. Somebody, come be with me while I pack up my stuff. Can I stay on your couch? Can I stay in your guest bedroom? Hey, can I come home while I sort things out and start fresh and rebuild? And you will. Because you're awesome. And you deserve all the most incredible love and beauty and equality. And you deserve a happy and healthy relationship that brings peace of mind to everyone involved, where they feel all uplifted. And their self-value is rooted in a grounded heart. I love you. Please be well. If you have any prayers or intentions around needing support, leave it in the comments below, and I'd be happy to add that into my meditations and daily prayers. Please let me know what resonated. I would love to hear what supported you. Please help each other in the comments and show love and support to each other with this reading. I know it was a more intense one. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. If this realness was what you needed to hear in order to choose yourself, give me a big thumbs up. And if you want, please join the community, hit subscribe. I would love to have you, because I may not always say exactly what you want me to hear, but I'll always tell you what I'm getting channeled from Spirit and the truth and what needs to be said right now. And there's always inspiration and there's always love. Mwah. Bye.